Abang info dulu cetakannya, tak cetakan. Karena abang aja. Hah? Lima.
Second half going to get underway very shortly here at the National Stadium. AFF Suzuki Cup 2020 semi-final between Indonesia and host Singapore. Indonesia a goal up thanks to Witan Sulaiman, and Indonesians are going to make at least 2 changes that we can see. Singapore making 1. It's like for like with Dedik Setiawan replaced by Ezra Walian, and Elkan Baggett is coming on, so changes at either ends of the field for Indonesia. And now Emanu Mantan is going to come on. It's for Zulfami Arifin. So presumably Russian. It would be for the back for you for Singapore.
I think it looks like they could do that. Go with 4 at the back, put Anu in midfield, Song a bit further forward. Another option will also be to drop Haris into that back line. That's something they could also decide to do. And it does look like they're going to stick with the 5 at the back as it stands. Anu and Shadan in central midfield. Haris in the centre of that back 3. Safwan taking over Zulfami's position.
Elkan Baggett has come on for Rizky Ramadani. This man flew in from the UK, played 1 game, got quarantined for a bit after a COVID scare, and then came back in his return game to score against Malaysia. Ezra Walian of Dutch and Indonesian heritage, striker. Emanu Mantan plies his trade in Malaysia. Let's see if these changes have any bearing early on. Irfan. And now Pratama Arhan. He's got Emanu Mantan right on him. Slips that into Irfan. That was hit by the other Irfan. There's Baggett out to Pratama. Forward for Hassan Sani. So they've maintained their shape as well, Russia, with 3 at the back, Indonesia.
Yeah, I mean, at times, as I said, Alfiandra can step forward into midfield, which he's doing here. Rahmat as well can just drop into that back line. It's an excellent challenge by Alfiandra. 2 players coming together. He looked like he could have been seriously hurt, perhaps.
It's Nur Adam. And the Indonesian players trying to make a point here. So Nur Adam.
There's nothing I can see that was wrong with that. Again, just one of those both players. There was a foot that connects with Alfiandra's face, but really, there's nothing Nur Adam could have done about that.
He looked pretty cool about it. He's on a yellow card, remember. It's Irfan. So Haris Harun going into the centre back role, a role that he was playing in with his club Lion City Sailors last season. And he's got that versatility, hasn't he, Roshan, to play either in midfield or in defence.
Yeah, Haris has always had that. Here he is, just looking to keep track of the movement of Ezra Walian. Haris has spoken recently about perhaps not being in full fitness as well. As Wita breaks free on this right hand side.
He's been a real danger man, hasn't he? Done Sulaiman. That's it, Irfan. 3 goals, 2 assists in this tournament. He's down and out at the moment, Irfan. Kambuaya. Here's Baggett. Applies this trade with Ipswich on the 23 side. Irfan is back on the pitch. About Ezra Walian, 24-year-old, who spent part of his youth career with AZ Alkmaar and Ajax Amsterdam. They were making the move to Indonesia a couple of years ago.
And that was a good run by Song Woo-yong. And well defended, good covering from Arhan, the left back there. What he did, Song, was just drop deep and then spun around back into that space that was created for him.
Good work there from Iksan. It's still Iksan. He's got the ball right across the face of the goal, but fantastic perseverance from the striker.
this is what Singapore need a lot more of in the second half against this Indonesian side. That fight, that spirit, that willingness to go on and win these balls, win these challenges. It's wonderful work from Iksan. Just to make sure he was on Arhan there, to win the ball back, put him under pressure, have to carve out an opportunity for himself. Just didn't have anyone gambling on the far post.
Piala gets out of the way. Or Adam. Kambuaya. Shut down on him. Here's Walian. Two. So a little bit of luck perhaps for him. Outside to Iksan. He's got Elkenbaget right on him as well. Oh, good work again from the young man. Foul from Nazrul Nazari on Irfan. Here's Pratama. Irfan Jaya, look at that amount of space he has at the moment. Slips that in. Lovely touch there from Witan Sulaiman.
Very good covering from Shadan. So important that he was alert to that and dropped himself back into his own penalty area. It was such an intelligent little flick in behind by Witan Sulaiman.
There is the Singapore skipper, Haris Hari. Remember, he had COVID-19 as well, not too long ago. It's injuries. His first competitive match in a couple of months was the opening game against Myanmar in this AFF Suzuki Cup. Faris Ramli run onto that. Ahead of Fakhruddin. Now, Nur Adam. Straightforward for Nadio.
Yeah, it's in the air a long time. In the air a long time. Easier for the goalkeepers to read the flight of that ball in those situations and get out to it. No real whip or pace on that. But there was an intelligent ball that he had played in behind for Faris Ramli just before that. Encouraging start for Singapore.
You think there's just a bit more bite about them now?
Yeah, they're lacking a little bit of intensive half.
Here's Pratama for Indonesia. Slips it to Irfan. Hanumantan's covered that, but still a loose ball. Irfan's shot is blocked by Irfan. That's Irfan Jaya to Irfan Fandi. Asnawi plays his football in Korea. Same club actually as this man's younger son, Shin Tae-yong's son. It's a video that's just come out. Actually an old video of Shin Tae-yong discussing his move to Indonesia with the Korean superstar Son Heung-min of Tottenham Hotspur there at the stadium in London, talking about that move in November 2019. He was considering it. Son Heung-min was encouraging him to go. Laughing about it, saying he needs to get pocket money for his son. Here is Iksan Fandi. Again, Elkenbaget, the task to keep close to him. He's done well here, Iksan, and he'll get the corner. See more of the ball, isn't he, Roshan?
Yeah, but he's having to come out to this right-hand side quite a bit, Iksan, to get himself involved in the game. Not exactly where you want him in the area, but he's trying to make something happen for the Singapore side. Good energy, lots of pace. Nice strength as well to hold off Baggett. He knows he's in a proper battle every time he's come up against Iksan. So far they've been he's been able to match him stride for stride.
Oh, that's a header, 3-1-4. Iksan high and wide though.
And again, they're able to win the ball in these set piece situations. That's where they are really threatening. The quality of delivery that comes in. And they're both difficult angle, but for him to perhaps just readjust his body as he tries to flip this one on.
He's got more touches in this first few minutes of the second half than it did in the entire first half.
Well, I said Singapore to improve on their passing percentages in terms of the accuracy. It was 61% in the first half. It's already gone up 3% in the second.
Baby steps, yep. 2 players down for Singapore.
Nazrul doing well, getting ahead of Irfan Jaya, and Anu's colliding Anu's knee with Nazrul's head. Nazrul looks okay. It's Anu who's getting treatment now.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to run that off. Play continues here now. Alfreander Dewanga stepping out more and more, isn't he? Rahmat Irianto.
An extra body in midfield, as I said, his versatility allows him to do that.
Not at all by Pratama to Irfan. Two Irfans keeping a close eye on each other. Bunch of Singapore fans there right behind Nazrul Nazari, trying to help their team on, their support. Wow, trying to twist and turn his way in the box, but it's out for Singapore. Song Wei-Young's done well here. Still Song, just a heavy touch. Anumantan was looking to release Faris Rumley on the far side.
A bit of a shame there. Bit of a shame. Just held on to it for a little bit too long. Song. Faris was free on that left hand side, and Iksan had run himself into an offside position, so he couldn't receive that opportunity for diagonal from Anu, getting closed down very quickly.
Safety first for Haris Harun. Young, of course, took Korea to the World Cup in 2018, where they had a memorable result against Germany. Soon after. Here is the big throw coming in. We haven't seen it for a while from Pratama Arhan of Indonesia. Plenty of pace on it. Nice punch out for Hassan Sani. Here's Witan Sulaiman. Still with Witan. Asnawi. Oh, the right idea, wasn't it? To Irfan Jaya.
That was so good. So good. Irfan Jaya with the position that he took up there, a run that he made from outside in. Just have a look. I think he's kept himself. He's done really well to keep himself onside. Have a look at Nazrul here at the bottom of your screen. Keeps him onside.
Really static, wasn't he?
He doesn't push up with that Singapore defensive line. He's trailing in behind, and Irfan Jaya was almost in behind there. Asnawi with the clever disguised pass into the run of Irfan.
Now Anumantan for Singapore. Haris Harun. Faris Rumley. Song Wei-Young. Nice interchange of passes. Nice shot. Well over. the building a little bit more Russian.
Well, that was really good from Singapore's perspective. The way they were able to make their way right through the middle of that Indonesian side. Lovely, quick 1 and 2 touch football. Gives and goes. Iksan's asking for it to have been played into him. His run here. Instead, Faris decides to have a shot. They've not had enough of those situations where they've passed it quickly like that. They've had those connections through the middle. Those combination plays for Singapore have been missing.
Irfan has gone down here. Rahmat wasn't too impressed. But I think that's fair enough. That's an elbow into the face of Irfan Fandi. As far as Ramdi. Sharan Sulaiman looks up for the options. Now Anumantan is too much on that pass, but there is Nazrul Nazari. I'm looking for his brother Iksan. Song Ayung. He became a Singapore citizen just a few months ago. This first competitive matches. Singapore's first nationalised player in a long time. Korean has been here for a decade or so. And Russian was an ex-teammate of yours, and just tell us some attributes of this player, Song Ayung.
Well, you see it on the pitch when he plays. You know, you see it in the training sessions. His energy, his work rate, ability to carry the ball forward. So he's a very strong runner with the ball. And what he's added to his game over the last few years or so, as he's developed, as he's grown, 50-50 possession there. Indonesia still leading by a goal to nil. What we've seen from Song as he's grown is ability to add goals to his game, being played in more advanced positions for his club side, previously Home United, now at times with the Lion City Sailors.
Played as a forward, didn't he, at the end of this last season?
Right.
Versatile player, Song Ayung. Great addition to this Singapore side. There's Iksan. There's urgency here about the Lions at the moment. Then gets there ahead of Iksan. Now Irfan Jaya. Rahmat Irianto, Ricky Kambuaya. Here's Alfrianda Dewanga. Now Song Ayung. That pass to Iksan. Irfan Jaya looking to slip that through to Azawalian. Shut it out by Haris Harun. Singapore's been fairly solid at the moment with Haris now moving into that back three.
Yeah, looks stable at the back for the moment. Better organisation, and they're starting to look a little bit better with the ball.
That move in possession, Anu in the holding role, what do you think? It's pretty good? It's worked?
It's worked for now. I mean, Anu, in terms of the profile of a player, he's not the most progressive in possession, but he's got good strength. He's a ball winner in the midfield. Sorry, because I think a lot of the creative element from midfield has really got to come from Song, and they've pushed him further forward alongside Iksan, him and Faris, and then we got Shadan in there as well.
Good challenge from Song, wasn't it? Lovely take here from Faris. Faris! Oh, in a great position! Took it on his weaker left foot. best opportunity of this half, Singapore.
Oh, wonderful work from Forrest. This is really good from Singapore. The way they win the ball back here, Song with a challenge. And then Forrest, have a look at this lovely bit of skill. And you're backing him, once he gets into that position, you're backing him to finish it off. Wonderful here. He just sends in the wrong way. Trying to bend it to the far corner of the goal. Forrest.
Certainly has been an improvement as far as Singapore is concerned. The mistake for Malcolm Baggett, giving the ball away. He's the new man in for Indonesia.
Not had the best of impact, Malcolm Baggett, since coming on. And Indonesia here, just at times defensively looking a little bit shaky. Singapore starting to up the tempo of their play.
And it's a double substitution for Singapore. Zulkarnain Susliman, who's been the preferred right back, or right wing back as the case may be today, is now going to come on. He's going to come on ahead of Nur Adam. So he's going to go to that left back, or left wing back role. Song Woo-young is being taken off by Shawal Anwar. He was really making an impact, wasn't he, Song?
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's a fitness issue that they're sort of managing, but again, different type of player. Shawal coming in, lots of pace. You can see his acceleration here already. He looks to try and track back and help his side out defensively. He's good with his off-the-ball runs as well, Shawal Anwar. Decent technician, stability on the ball.
Indonesia are now bringing on their team captain, Dewan Dimas, for Rahmat Irianto. This is the change we saw in the last game against Malaysia.
Yeah, I think what Evan Dimas will bring with his introduction here is a bit more control for Indonesia and possession in midfield. I think they've lost control of the game a little bit. Perhaps needing not just fresh legs in there, but someone who's very comfortable in possession, can try and dictate the tempo for them in those areas.
So Shawal moved across to this right-hand side. Dimas in the centre of midfield for Indonesia. Here's Irfan Jaya. All over the top by Rutan Sulaiman.
Yeah, good control defensively again from Singapore. They're making sure they track runners. They got themselves a lot better organised out of possession.
Shadan. Okay, to again release Shawal now. Well, they've got some pace up there, haven't they?
Well, you have a look at that. Singapore's pass percentage in terms of the accuracy of passes has gone up to 67% now.
Indonesia's as well. It's gone up a little bit to 75. Certainly look an improved unit in the second half. Zasnawi. Dimas seems to be around forever, Roshan.
Yeah, he's been playing football for a long time now. We're just looking at the attempts, and it's 6 each to Singapore and Indonesia, and both with 5 shots from inside the box. It's the one for both of them coming from outside the box.
It looks like Amy Reka is also going to come on very shortly. There's some movement on the bench there. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to take off Iksan Fandi. Will they play 2 out-and-out strikers? They don't need to yet, Roshan, right? With another whole game to come. It'll be interesting to see what they do. There's Shawal. Maybe with that second game in mind. 20-minute run out for Amy Reka.
Interesting to see if it's Iksan or Faris actually. that potentially comes off here.
Yes, Evan Dimas. Offender Dewanga. Elkin Baggett. Kambuaya. Here's Witan Sulaiman has come onto this left-hand side for a bit. Suzuma, strong header. Here's Faris. Still Faris, he slips his through. Flag has stayed down, and it has been a throw in. It's the equaliser goal. Somebody has made it 1-0. The whole crowd has spread there, waiting to see if that would stand.
Yeah, they've deserved that goal, and straight away he asked to be taken off. They've deserved that goal, Singapore. I think they've been the better side in this second half. They started to find a flow and a rhythm in the game. They started to string passes together. Let's have a look at this run. Yeah, he's onside. Well clear onside. And I wasn't sure if he was certain he was going to score there. This takes a bit of a deflection of Nadeo, and the angle was against him as well. But what was important here, Faris does such a great job of drawing the defender towards him, beating him, and then releasing that pass into the space that was left behind. But you remember the ball that came across, and it was headed first time by Zulkarnain. And there were cries of time. And normally when you hear that, you think, okay, I'll take it down and bring it forward. But what was crucial was that he headed it first time right into the feet of Faris, and then Singapore could turn around and counter-attack quickly.
His third goal in the tournament, Iksan Fandi's first two came in the opening game. I tell you what, he scored. Now probably his last bit of action, regardless of what happened anyway. He asked to get taken off. That was the decision anyway by Tatsuma. He's done his part. Singapore will be hoping he'll be absolutely fine for the second leg in just a few days' time. Shawalanwa racing down, he won't get that. Ivanga is also pretty quick. This game, of course, now livened up with about 20 minutes to go. Roshan, this is beautifully poised now, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. Wonderful, and not just for the rest of this one, but for the second leg as well.
Reminder, we're playing two legs. There is no home and away legs in this at all. So the second semi-final is tied on aggregate. We will go to extra time, potentially penalties. Well, guys, go down with them. Quickly gets up. And now listen to the National Stadium. It's got the crowd going for that goal. But there's no doubt the changes made a difference. Shawalanwa right down, and it's going to be a corner.
Yeah, it was so important that Ricky Kambuaya got that timing of his challenge spot on in that situation. Any sort of touch away from Ricky Kambuaya, this is a penalty. You can see that he makes a connection with the ball here, Ricky Kambuaya. Fantastic challenge. It looks like Shawa's going to be running away with it, but important interception from Kambuaya.
They've lost one of their best receivers on the set piece. Iksan, but there's a chance here off the woodwork. Opportunity for Safwan Baradin to make it two.
Well, again, they almost make this set piece count. Again, wonderful quality from Shadan. I mean, his deliveries have been excellent. And Safwan again, Singapore get a first head on it, but they can't punish Indonesia. He's unlucky.
But it's just enlivened this crowd here at the National Stadium. It's a sea of red looking for that ball. Anu Mantad on that header. Faris looking for Amy Reka. Here's Evan Dimas. Indonesia trying to get control of the ball again. Control this game. Nazrul Nazari. Here's Ricky Kambuaya. Ratama. Releases quickly to Zulkan and Suzuman. Willing them on the crowd here at the National Stadium. Second one, opts for safety.
Well, this could be a formula for Singapore going forward, you know. If they decide to go with 5 at the back, Haris dropping into central defence alongside Safwan and Irfan for the rest of the competition. However long they've got left in it. I mean, they've looked much better organised in the second half, defensively and in possession as well. They're looking so much better. They've increased the tempo of their play. Indonesia, the ones that started to just look a little bit wobbly in certain situations.
There's Haris Harun to Sharan Sulaiman. So this is zipping the ball around more, aren't they?
The better connections now. The players are closer to each other. They can pass it. And there's a bit more confidence on the ball in possession.
Oh, by us now, we there.
Opening up the pitch a little bit better as well with the positions that they're taking up. And again, they're connecting the passes a lot better here.
One ball. Oh, lovely work. Shawal. That's the ball won by Hanumantan.
Yeah, good bit of skill by Emi. It just takes the contact and wins the free kick.
Will be a lot happier, won't he? Tatsuma Yoshida. Now you can really hear the chants for the Singapore crowd, but here come Indonesia. Evan Dimas. Witan Sulaiman. And away by Haris. The first touch was from Irfan. Ricky Kambuaya. That's outside.
Right on the line. If it's on the line, it should be a penalty. Clumsy from Nazrul. Could have really been punished here. Oh, that's a penalty.
That's the box, isn't it?
Oh, that should have been a penalty. Very fortunate, Singapore, that there's no video assist referee, because that should have been a penalty to Indonesia.
Yeah, from the angle we were on, it was very, very tight. The referee immediately pointed to a free kick. You can see from that replay, a clear penalty for Indonesia. That will be a talking point. Not many protests on that one either. Here's Evan Dimas. They don't know what's happened. I'm not sure. The rest of them do. Indonesia about to make another change here. Haris Putra is going to come on. Oh, he's done his job magnificently. Wow, the man has only been on for about half an hour. He's off. There's Rawalian, who's taken off by Haris Putra. It's never something I think most players want to have, but he goes across the scope, shakes his hand.
I was looking for that potential flashpoint.
Flipped over. El Kabagit, he'll be the one that they'll look for in these sort of situations. Yes. Putra, 22 years of age. That's the second cap. This first one was coming on against Malaysia right at the end of the last game. Emi Reka, foul, yes. Demanga is furious, shaking his head.
Important for Emi Reka to make sure he held on to it or won a free kick in that situation. Singapore under a little bit of pressure. Indonesia starting to get themselves back into this game.
Shawal trying to get a touch on. Here he's back on the ball. Trying to clear it. It will be a throw in for Singapore. Now Prandia Dewanga. Over Evan Dimas. 10 minutes left in this match, plus some added time, and this is just the first of two legs for Singapore and Indonesia.
Well covered by Harris. Seems more comfortable in the centre of defence. He's done in midfield in this competition.
Indonesia have responded fairly well since that goal. A good little spell right after it. Trying to get a grip on this game, aren't they, again? Evan Dimas with the delivery. Straightforward for Sansani. He was looking out at Faris Ramli, and he's going to deliver the ball from Hannes. Here is the new forward. Now Asnawi. Away by Shadan Sulaiman. Ranga is there ahead of Emi Reka. Here is Evan Dimas. Good work here from Hannes to the wing back. Pratama. Foul on Faris Ramli.
Well, Hannes has already made a really good impact since coming on for Rawalian. Buzzing around that forward line, already linking up on the right hand side, on the left hand side. Going to cause a few issues for the Singapore defence with his link up play. It's been such an even game of football. Fascinating to see the changes from the first half and into the second.
On Hannes, who's done a great turn and shot, but straight at Hassan Sani.
Well, Hannes in the 5 minutes that he's come on has made so much more of an impact than Ezra Walian did in his time on the pitch. It's an attempt, I mean, if it had taken a deflection of Harris, that could have ended up in the back of the net. A little bit of curve at the end there, just almost fooling Sun.
Touch off Nazrul. Here's Hanumantan. Now Emi Reka. We're going to get a late goal here to give one of these sides the edge going into the second leg, which is on the night of Christmas, 25th of December, Saturday night. Mark that in your calendars. Gone there by Shawal to Imireka. There's a foul on Shawal.
Wonderful leap from Shawal. Timing of that jumper. About to see another change for Singapore here with Hafiz Noor.
First time he's appeared in this edition. Hafiz Noor. Yeah, another line since he's saved his player. Intercepted that ball. Look at this run here. Anumada trying to stop Masnawi. We saw what he could do in the first half. And that was behind the defensive lineman. But Singapore come roaring back the other end. Here's Faris Ramli.
It was incredible from Masnawi, wasn't it? That run. I mean, again they tried to foul him. Almost like, reminds me a little bit of
Harris doing enough.
So we're supposed to claim that. I was going to say the way Asnawi runs up and down that right hand side, or especially down that right hand side, is and they try to stop him. He's like as if he's slatted in that baby oil, which is what Nama Traore does, doesn't he? For Wolves. Can't take him down when he starts moving.
The only difference is the physique, I think.
That's now he's getting there, I think, with the physique. Because you can't foul him.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened in that first goal.
Yeah.
Almost happened there. There's just such amazing pace about this Indonesian side, isn't there?
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's really exciting when they get into that full flow. Mind you, Singapore have got good pace themselves. The likes of Shah on the pitch now. Faris, I think when he was on. Now another quick, speedy player about to come on for Singapore to replace Faris Ramli.
Yeah, I mean, Hafiz Noor is now 33. And he's still got bags of pace about him. With the assist for Iksan Fandi.
Yeah, got more involved in the game in the second half. They cut out the first half. You can see they were trying to counter-attack very quickly. Lots of direct balls being played forward, not quite finding the accuracy in those passes, and the pass selection wasn't very good from Singapore in the first half. Second half, they got players closer together in certain situations, and at the same time, they were able to sort of position themselves in a way that could stretch out the pitch, and stretch out this Indonesian side. So those connections, those players were closer around in possession of the ball. They were moving in to receive, and then they were runners off the ball, as they're doing here once again.
Oh, that's a great shot here from Imireka. Relatively comfortable here for Nadio.
It's increased the pace of their play as well. This second 45, Singapore, wonderful work here. Spins away, receives it. Off Hafiz Noor, testing the goalkeeper. Really good shot, difficult one as well to execute. Bouncing around like that from range at speed.
So well, really. Singapore here with Shannon Sliman's corner. Away by Baggett. You think, Roshan, this might be the template now, right? With Harris in the three, and perhaps Anumanthan there in midfield?
Yeah, that could work for them. I mean, again, it really depends on what they're trying to do, right? It changes from game to game, and just because it's working now doesn't necessarily mean.
Such pace about Irfan.
But I will say that they have looked a lot more organised since Harris has gone into the centre of that back line. Zulkarnain has done very well there, to make sure that he was able to keep pace with Irfan. Track back, get on the inside, get goal side, come across. Shepherded all the way to your goalkeeper.
point upfield. Irfan.
One straight through the top of Witan Sulaiman as well. Been a dangerous one this.
Witan picks himself up. Just as he picked up this Indonesian crowd here with his goal.
Yeah, love the finish. Love the finish. Composure in that position. Just opens his body up, guides it past Hassan Sani. And then here Faris carries the ball forward, beats a man, and then plays it into that space that was vacated by the central defender who had pushed forward to try and stop the run of Faris Ramli. But just before that as well, the header from Zulkarnain I think was very important. First time header straight into Faris Ramli, and that meant the momentum of the move was kept alive.
And look at that, with the top scores of the tournament. Iksan Fandi on to 3. Witan now got 2. And Iksan I should say, 11 goals now in 25 appearances. Not a bad return.
It's a very good return. And it's a really good return for centre forward on the international stage.
He's talking to his brother Ilham there. Many people's lips, we're going to see all 3 the Fandi brothers together. All sons, of course, of the legendary Fandi Ahmad, known particularly well in both Singapore, of course, and Indonesia. They spent a lot of time. Yabes Roni will have a cameo here in place of the hugely impressive Irfan Jaya. Plays his football with Persikola Jayapura. Bali United, excuse me, the 26-year-old, earning his 6th cap today.
One last opportunity perhaps for Indonesia with Yabes Roni coming on. A bit more pace in there. Last minute and a half or so. Buaya.
Here's Pratama Arhan. Slips it to Kambuaya. Anu Maltan. So Yabes Roni on him. He's held off that challenge. About a minute left of this added time.
Assuming it stays this way, we're right back where we started. No away goals, so
throw in by Pratama.
nothing goes up for a good kick. Nothing really changes. Nothing's really changed.
Oh, it's given a corner. Oh wow. Very casual there. Contentious moment perhaps, right at the end of this match. In they go and score. Alcon Baggett scored off a corner. He will be the one to watch out for. He's got a lot of players around. The referee has noticed that. There he is. Anu, Safwan and Irfan all around him. And that's away by Shawal Anwar, and that will be it. Well, what a second half I think we had. That game in the lump. Iksan Fandi with the crucial equaliser for Singapore. Roshan, both coaches will have some good moments here. Yeah, a fair result.
Yeah, I mean, 1-1 in a match where away goals and things like that don't matter. It doesn't really change anything going into the second leg. It's great for us neutrals.
Absolutely.
It's all kept alive for the second leg. It was a strange match. You know, I thought Singapore were a little bit flat in the opening 45. Indonesia were the better side, and then the second half, Singapore woke up with those changes that they made, with the structure to the team. They upped the intensity and the tempo of the game, got the reward with that equalizer. Whereas Indonesia then in the second half started to look a little bit wobbly in certain situations, looked a little bit tired. So it's a fair result in the end, and this makes things very, very exciting going into the second leg at the weekend.
That was a nice way of saying a game of two halves. Well, it has been, entertaining in parts. Of course, there is still a long way to go. We are only at the halfway stage of this semi-final, and it's honours even. And they do it all again in just 3 days on the first night of Christmas. And let's see who will come bearing gifts. Full-time score here in the first leg semi-final of this AFF Suzuki Cup 2020. It's Singapore 1, Indonesia 1. And the crowd showing their appreciation. I think this will be refreshing after what we saw or heard in that last game.
I think this is important from Singapore's perspective. This is very important that they were able to give their fans something to shout about. Something to shout, and to be fair, the majority of fans in Singapore that have come out to these matches have been very supportive of the team. I think they had a small group of supporters perhaps booing them after that game against Thailand, and this was a good response from them, especially in the second half. And it creates a lot of enthusiasm for the second leg. And the same for the Indonesian fans. You know, they've been brilliant, and the players have gone over just to show their appreciation for the fans that have come out to support them, and I'm sure they'll be back to support their side in the big one, in the decider.
It was interesting, wasn't it? You mentioned how the game went a bit flat at times for one team or the other. Just like the crowd as well, it reflects what's going on the pitch. But then there was a good period, about 10-15 minutes, and both sets were doing all they could. They got nice and stretched, a bit of end-to-end. They had their chances, but it's overall a game of few clear-cut opportunities.
That quality in those attacking positions was just missing. But I can understand that. It's the first leg, you know, it's a big semi-final. You want to step a couple of steps away from a place in the final of the competition. You don't want to take too many chances, too many risks, especially when you know there's a second leg to come. So I can understand that. A little bit of pragmatism at times, a little bit of a lack of risk-taking. It's set up brilliantly this for the second leg, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see what the tactical setups are going to be in that one. Whether both teams come back into a back five, or whether they go back to the systems of 4 at the back and they both go and try and attack each other.
Yes, of course, it's a different dynamic then. But here is the man of the match, Witan Sulaiman Roshan, who scored the opening goal, but he did so much more, didn't he?
He's a wonderful player to watch, lovely player to watch. So graceful on the pitch, the way he just glides across, and intelligent in the way he takes up his positions, and the good knowledge of, good awareness of when he needs to hang on to it, when he needs to play it first time. And he never looks rushed, never looks hurried. You know, he's always composed in possession, and then of course having that quality with the finish. You know, it's all about getting those numbers up. People watching the games, they might not necessarily be paying attention to you as the 22 players to keep an eye on, but you get your numbers up in those situations, you start to get noticed a lot more as well.
So that brings us to an end here at the National Stadium on the first of 2 semi-finals. Tomorrow, Vietnam take on Thailand. Who would have thought that would be the semi-final matchup? That will be another lip-smacking affair. Looking forward to that one. And just 24 hours from now, as the single team are regaled by their fans the national anthem. And they stand with pride here after what's been a good performance, a much better performance from what they've done in the early matches. But from me, Shazad Haq and Rish Roshan Rai, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Coach, 1-1 here. Are you happy going into the second leg with this result?
지금 1대1로 비기셨는데요. 다음 경기 이제 해야 되는데 오늘 경기 결과에 만족하시는지?
오늘 경기가 절대 만족 못하고 한 번쯤 고비가 올 거라 생각했는데 그 고비가 오늘 온 것 같아서 조금 아쉽습니다.
Definitely not satisfied with the result result of the match today. I thought that we would have a difficult moment throughout the tournament, but then the moment it seems like the moment came on to us today. So a little bit disappointing after all, but yep.
And Egi Molana coming back for the second leg. What is he going to bring to the side?
지금 애기가 지금 두 번째 경기에 참석할 것인지, 그다음에 애기가 만약에 들어오면 어떻게 경기를 할 것인지.
일단 뭐 애기가 다음 경기에 출전하지 않을까 그렇게 생각을 하지만은 그 맨발은 또 모든 선수의 컨디션을 보고 맨발 짤 것이다.
Yes, he may be able to play in the second leg, but then I'll have to look at the conditions of all the players overall first, and then I'm going to decide.
And a message to your boys for the second leg.
두 번째 이제 경기에 선수한테 어떤 메시지를 전할 것인지.
뭐 오늘 우리가 뭐 잘했던 거나 못했던 거 있기 때문에 못했던 거에 대해서 조금 우리가 더 연구하고 준비를 잘해서 다음 경기에 승리할 수 있도록 준비하도록 하겠습니다.
We've had good moments as well as bad moments throughout the 90 minutes of the match today, and so we'll definitely have a look at the moments that didn't go really well, and then prepare for the next match accordingly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the second leg.
Thank you.